I'm currently trading multiple six figures in funding, and if I had to start all over again, and if I had to get funded as soon as possible, this is exactly what I would do. And I wanted to share it with you in this video so that it can help you to become profitable and get funded. Just before I get into all of it, if you did want to see some proof, some screenshots of my certificates, payouts that I have received, you can either head over to my Twitter via the link in the description, or you can check out my YouTube community posts, have a scroll through there, and I tend to post from time to time screenshots and proofs or proof of my payout. So if I was to get funded as soon as possible, this is what I would do. I'd follow these steps, or I'd implement these actions. And so the first thing that I would do to get funded as soon as possible is I would stick to trading one asset class. And particularly I trade forex, is I'd pick one forex pair to trade. And now you might be thinking, surely if you're trading one pair, then you're going to make less money. It's going to be a slower process. And I disagree with that. I got my first funded account with Alpha Capital Group when I was just trading one pair. I do trade multiple now. I trade pound yen, gold, and euro USD. But at the time, when I got my first funded account, I was just trading euro USD. And the reason why I say I would stick to one pair is because you can give your focus to that one pair. You're not distracted. And so when you're trading multiple pairs, what this is going to do is just influence you to potentially overtrade. You're going to be distracted by those other pairs, and you're not going to be able to implement the system that you are trading properly. And so the first thing that I would do to get funded as soon as possible is pick one pair that's in alignment with my strategy. Okay, that works best with my strategy. And I'll just stick to that one pair. And so the second thing I would do that leads on from the first thing is I'd pick one session. Again, you might be thinking, well, surely if you're trading one session, it's going to be a slower process, and that's just not necessarily true. When I got funded with Alpha Capital Group, when I first got my funded account, one of my funded accounts, or the first one that I got funded with, I was just trading one session, and that was London session. I still trade just London now. Sometimes I'll take a look at New York, but it really depends on the setup, the pair I'm trading, and whether I can actually give my attention to the charts. But the second thing I'll do to get funded as soon as possible would be to just trade one session. I wouldn't bother trying to trade every single session, because what will happen and what tends to happen is if you're looking at the charts all day long, there's only a certain amount of time during the day as humans, as traders, where we can actually give our full attention and perform at our best. And so what eventually happens, you're going through the trading day, 3 hours has passed, 4 hours has passed, 7 hours has potentially passed, and by this point you're becoming mentally fatigued, and so you're not going to be able to make the highest quality trading decisions. And so by trading one session, what this is going to allow you to do, and what it has allowed me to do, is give my attention to that one session, give my best attention to that one session, and it has allowed me to make the best possible trading decisions. So I know that within that session, I've got a 2, 3, 4 hour max window where I need to be focusing. And it's a lot easier for me to focus, and potentially maybe for you to focus within a 2 to 3 hour window than trying to focus all day long and trade multiple sessions. And so the next point, point 3, is I would try to understand when my strategy is most likely to present itself, which links on to point number 2, trading one session. So what I mean by this is, from that point 2, you might be thinking, well, what session do I potentially trade then? What session do I pick? And the session you pick is the session that presents your strategy the most frequently. And so through backtesting, I'd backtest one pair that I've chosen. I'd then, of course, choose a session based on the back testing that I'd done on that one pair to identify when my edge is being presented the most. And so for me, that is London session. My strategy that I trade, which has got me funded, making consistent payouts, is presented during London session. And so point 2 and point 3 kind of link together. They go hand in hand, and it's important to understand that it's a lot easier to get funded, and you're going to get funded a lot quicker if you know what session you're trading and you understand that within that particular session, that's where your edge is most likely to be presented. And so then you're not worried about trying to trade New York, for example, or Asian session. You understand that, okay, all I need to be doing is being prepared and wait patiently during London session. And I know that during London session, my edge is most likely to be presented, and it makes things a lot easier, less likely to overtrade, you're less likely to potentially second guess yourself, to not understand what trades you're looking for and when, because you know specifically that during X session, your system is most likely to be presented. So you can give your full attention to that session, and anything outside of that session you can just ignore. And so that's the third thing that I would do if I wanted to get funded as soon as possible. If I was starting all over again, I would focus on trading one particular session, and that one session will be identified by back testing and understanding when my edge is most likely to be presented. And so if you don't actually know your edge, if you are struggling to trade profitably, you don't have a profitable system, I'd like to teach you my strategy for free. If you check out the link in the description, you can watch the video and you can learn one of my high probability setups that made me 1,600x amount of dollars in one single trade on one of my funded accounts. You can learn that strategy, implement it for yourself, and potentially use it to get funded. And so I hope this video has helped, and I will see you in the next one.